You ready to start?
Yes.
Oh.
Welcome in to We Gon Figure It Out.
Huh! Yep.
This is the appreciation show.
Yes. What do you appreciate in general? All right.
I appreciate life in general.
Yes, we do. Today's Memorial Day, so it got me thinking, like, a lot of people, like I had asked you earlier, like, I feel like Memorial Day is all about the concept that you should, like, celebrate soldiers who've passed on, right?
There's that shrine.
Hey, Shrine, we can't do what I talked about earlier. But it's not necessarily, a lot of people just celebrate people who've passed on in general.
Right.
And so I kind of got to think, when you think about death, you also think about life and appreciating all those individuals that are in your life and all the different things that have happened in your life, just showing an appreciation for life. So I got a couple of questions in terms of appreciation for us to kind of talk about. And that's, like, how do you show appreciation for those different relationships? Like, what are the different ways that you show appreciation to those different relationships that you have? And, like, what are some of those relationships first? So, like, what are the top relationships that you feel like you should show appreciation to?
To you, as my husband, to my kids, to my mother and father, my parents.
Yeah.
And, just family and friends.
Yeah.
So.
What about...
Thunder up.
Should there be any appreciation for the Thunder in the way they ended their season?
Yes.
Okay, just throwing that out there. All right, so when I think there's a lot of different relationships that I feel like as a leader sometimes it's always important for those individuals that choose to follow you, it's always important for you to show appreciation to them. So that's a good one. That's a key one for me. I would definitely say you have to show a lot of appreciation for your spouse, obviously, and or even just if you're in a relationship in general, even in the beginning stages of it, your kids. Same thing that you pretty much said. I think work is one of those rare places where we don't think we should show appreciation to, like, our boss.
But we should.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're a good boss.
Well, even if they're a bad one. We should figure out a way to show them that we appreciate their leadership. Maybe they're a bad boss because I'm a bad employee. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, so what are some of the ways that you show appreciation? Because everyone does it differently. Like, I think for me, I definitely don't show it the same way you do. So what's one of the ways that you feel is a necessary way to show the appropriate amount of appreciation in those different relationships?
So before you ask that, I want to ask a question about, the relationship with children and how to show appreciation to them, because I think...
Well, that's part of the question that I'm asking, yeah.
Well,
that's why I said so you can start with kids. Then.
Well, okay, I'll start with kids. With kids, it's typically to say thank you to kids. Sometimes I think we as parents feel like it's just their job to do exactly what we say do without, and then sometimes, we fail as parents in telling them thank you for doing this or doing that. And I think if we do that more often, then they don't have much of a problem with, following orders.
I think they are little humans.
They are. And so they have feelings and emotions and stuff too. Yeah.
So I think that is a big part of it. But I do think that there's a boundary on that. Even and with each set that we could of different people and how we choose to show appreciation to them, there's always a boundary to each one. And I think that there can be a very unhealthy boundary that can be crossed when there's a difference between if you teach your kids that, every now and then that you say thank you to them, that's going to teach them that there should be a value on what they do. And then they could take that into the next relationship or the next, and they could have that boss or that other family member or even that spouse that may not say thank you the same way mom or dad did. Mm-hmm. And they'll take that as, oh, this person doesn't appreciate me.
Right.
And that's not the case. Just because a person doesn't do it like mom or dad, or as frequently as mom or dad did it, doesn't necessarily mean it. Because, and I think that happens in relationships a lot. When people get married or when people kind of go on, get into deeper relationships, they expect their spouse to clean up behind them or boyfriend or girlfriend or do something, and or if they do it for them, they expect that person to say thank you. And some people don't always say thank you.
Right. But I think that's something that you should strive to do.
Right. And like I said, each person has a different, and it's all depending on how each person was raised. Because it isn't to say that one person was raised wrong because they weren't taught that you should say thank you for every single thing.
I'm not saying every single thing, but I'm just saying, like, do your best to try to show appreciation, and thank you goes a long way.
Yeah.
So, but with kids, I also wanted to say, thank you goes a long way with kids. It doesn't always have to be that you need to buy them something or you know, it doesn't have to be a monetary thing to show that you appreciate the kids or that they're doing something that they should be doing anyway, as far as, you know, grades and, you know,
so like,
chores
yeah,
and
do you
things
tell
like
a kid thank you for washing the dishes?
I try to.
Every now and then, or like every single time?
Well, you know, like with Navon, he takes the initiative on his own, and when I recognize that, I do tell him thank you, especially if it's not something that I have to say. If it's something that I don't have to tell him to do. You see what I'm saying? If I don't have to say, hey, you know, Navon, I need you to go in there and clean the kitchen. If I see him get in there and do it on his own, then I'm gonna say, you know what, thank you for doing that, just to show him that I
what if you have to tell him
recognize.
every day, but he still does it every day? I mean, you tell him every day, he does it every day. Does that then not warrant a thank you because you have to tell him every day?
No, I think sometimes you need to still tell them, even though you have to tell them every day, just to give them that push to keep them going. You know, people need encouragement to keep going. And like,
in the work world, how do you shift into to that? Like, so if your boss doesn't tell you thank you, how does that feel? Like if you're you know, you've always been lucky to have bosses that say thank you.
Not
for the
all
most
the time.
part.
Not all the time.
But for the most part, how does it feel when you work hard and then someone doesn't say thank you?
Like you said, you'll continue doing what you need to do, but it does feel good when you're appreciated.
Yeah, but how does it feel when they don't say it?
I mean, I guess I don't really think about it because it doesn't happen very often anyway. You know,
Yeah.
to say thank you in the workplace doesn't happen anyway, because I think they feel like we're paying you to do
Your
this job.
paycheck is thank you.
Yeah. So when it's said, then that's a different ballgame.
I think the reason why I asked that question is because I've never worked for someone who didn't like my work ethic or didn't say it frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a couple of different bosses within my like the structure of how I work now. And I have one who never really says much, but when he does say it, there's a value to it.
Yeah.
Then I have like two other people that say it like every single time I see them. Like,
and this, you sound like that irritates you.
No. I'm just saying, like, no, they go out their way to say, like, hey.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and it keeps me motivated to keep going.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever really worked anywhere where someone didn't appreciate me or didn't say it. That's why I was just because I see where some people, when they feel unappreciated, I've seen work ethic just go down and just drop. And I think that's the point I was making earlier. Like, never let it affect who you are.
Right. Because
someone doesn't know how to properly appreciate you.
But you know, people have different love languages, and you know, words of what was it? Words of not words of encouragement.
Affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Is, you know, somebody's love language. So if they're not hearing it, then if they're not hearing it, then you know that doesn't work.
Jay, why does Jay exist on like the way he's doing this? Did you read what he said?
He said your boss is on the barbershop 918. Appreciate you.
My bosses. So Jay's my boss.
Indeed. I like it.
Oh man, Jay,
you need a boss sometime.
I do.
I think you're always. It seems like your personality is always where you're the boss.
No, I have several bosses. I have like 5.
Yeah, but
in my life. Are you ready to move on, boss? I call everybody boss. That's a part of what I do, just so everyone can feel appreciated.
Indeed.
That's my way of doing it. All right, so like I think one of the things, there's people, your parents. I think there's a healthy boundary once you become an adult. There's a difference between having a healthy reverence for your parents and just occasionally showing them appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's a real key factor, is that there's always going to be that point where, you know, it gets to a point where it's okay. You don't have to call mom or daddy every day, or you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? That's not the way you still can have a good relationship. I think making sure that you show your elders appreciation with time is a really good thing too.
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't do, and when I say elders, I mean like all of the different elders too in your life, like both spiritual and the actual like matriarchs and patriarchs of your family.
Right.
I think it's important for you to spend time with them more so and let them know that you appreciate their guidance and their leadership and that type of thing in your family, more so than anything, because time is fragile, is precious for them.
It is.
And so for you to spend time with them, it fills up more of their time than it may feel for you, because you feel like, okay, I got another 30, 40 years, and if you spend a lot more time with them, I know I don't have any grandparents anymore or left, and
right.
So for me, I do wish now I would have spent more time.
Yeah.
And so
I think it was a little bit difficult for you though, because you lived, away from.
Yeah, when I was at home, I spent plenty of time with them.
Yeah.
But I think that's a key factor, is to make sure you spend time with them. What do you think are good, healthy ways to set up boundaries to make sure that you don't over appreciate an individual in all these different relationships?
I mean, like I said, definitely with the kids, you don't have to monetarily, buy them things or do anything like that. Like I said, a thank you goes a long way for most people.
So when is
and then you can do things like give a card or something that's a sentimental value, but doesn't cost a lot.
So when does it cross the line with a work relationship where you're not just like kind of kissing your boss's butt, or you just showing appreciation? Like, where's that line at? How do you know if you're going too far? Is it about your motive, or is it about like genuine appreciation?
I think it's definitely about your motive, because I think they can kind of see through. People can see through that when you're overcompensating, and I guess kind of overcompensation in the work work area is like coming in every day with little, hey, I just wanted to say I appreciate you, or hey, here's this, or just kind of overdoing it.
So when is it too much in a relationship and it feels like it's overcompensation? So if someone came home with flowers every day and said, hey, I just want to show you how much I love you. For a woman, or for a woman, could that be too much? Like, if every day you got flowers and you liked them, suppose you liked flowers.
Okay, I was going to say.
So suppose you liked them, and every single day I came home with flowers. Would that be overkill?
I don't know.
What is it that you do like that? Like, if I came home, because there's things that I feel like you only like in seasons. Like, if I came home with peanut butter, it's only a few weeks out of the month. You'd be like, all right, I'm good with the peanut butter, like candy or something like that. And then other weeks it might be something different. That's a bad example, but is there something? But you get what I'm saying. Like, when is it too much in a relationship for you as a woman?
I think you just have to. There is an overcompensation, and I think in every relationship. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I really can't pinpoint it, but there is overcompensation, and it can be in every relationship that you have.
Yeah.
Where it's just overkill. I mean, the everyday. I think you need to give that person a chance to enjoy. Like, say for instance, you bought me flowers every day. How would I enjoy the first set that you bought? Or first bouquet.
But the second that they gone, I bet you would appreciate it though. Like, if I went 2 weeks in a row and then that first day afterwards, then you'd be like, hey, where's the flowers? Kinda. Yeah. You wouldn't miss it.
It's
gone.
Human nature, yeah.
So what are some of the things that we could do in a relationship that actually shows appreciation without it being like an overcompensation? So like, if I say I love you every single day at this, like before bed, before we leave the house, all those little different things are necessary, right? Mm-hmm. So what are some of the extra things that go along the same lines that can be consistent but not an overcompensation? What are some of your personal things that you like? I
like to send you a text message at least, a couple times out the week, just to say, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
Things like that, where it kind of, catches you off guard.
It's necessary for me to respond.
No.
I'm asking, is it necessary for me to respond?
No.
Okay.
No, because I know you're busy, and I know you have things going on, but I just want you to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not it's not meant to receive some type of, to receive it back. It's just meant to show you that I appreciate you.
And I think that's a good thing that you have it set up where it's something you want to do to show me appreciation, but I don't have to show. I mean, like, I don't have to respond.
Yeah.
It's for you,
Mm-hmm.
and that sets up a good, healthy boundary for you. What do you got?
She says, this is Kim. She said, for me, I enjoy a touch of a hand or a kiss from my hubby every day. I don't necessarily need things. My love language is touch and verbal communication. So I think like what she's saying is you just have to know that person's love language and what they like, you know, that's going to hit them in a way that it's like they're paying attention to me. They pay attention to the things that I like.
Yeah.
So
what are some of the things that you think I like? I'm putting you on the spot with all the questions today.
you
was watching the Royals game instead of helping me think of ideas, so I got all the questions. You ain't got none of them. So you buy me stuff, right?
You don't like that though.
But you do. That's one way you show me appreciation, like every day, even small things, right?
I think you appreciate the things like the text message.
Yeah.
You know,
that's part of it.
I think you appreciate the words of affirmation if I tell you something like I'm proud of you, you know, things like that, or you know, a simple thank you if I come in and I see you've done some laundry or cooked the dinner or things like that. I always try to. But I think you like those things.
What they put?
I appreciate my fiance for folding clothes after I wash them so I could finish the yard work.
God, that's pretty.
I
good.
appreciate that too. That you wash and I fold.
Yes, because I do not want to fold.
I know you don't.
I do not.
But I don't mind folding.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot one more time, and I get on the spot with you. I need a top 5 off the top of your head. Top 5 things or people. You can do a mixture of both. Top 5 things or people that you appreciate right now in your life. Before we wrap up this subject.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Oh, that's cheap, but that's one.
But I mean, I do.
Am I an honorable mention? I should be number 1. This is in order. I'm 5? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'm not doing it like that. You said I didn't have to do it in order. Or
all right. I did not say that. I said top 5 things or people.
You said, it could be people or things.
People
it
or
doesn't matter.
things. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not doing top 5. I'm just telling you what they are.
You just telling me 5.
So if you want to know.
All right. I'm number 1. Go for it.
No, God is number 1.
Well, can't argue with him. My hands are too short to fight with God.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate you. I appreciate my kids. I know you think that's simple, but I do. I appreciate my mom. I appreciate my dad a lot more lately. He's been a real big factor in my life that I've been really, needing to talk to him and be, in contact with him on a frequent basis. So I appreciate him. I appreciate. I don't know.
All right, so for me,
that's all I got.
I kind of got a top 5, or not even so much a top 5, but a list of things that I need to make sure that I correct, to show more appreciation for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the number 1 things on my list is my relationship with my parents, because they are getting older. And I do realize that wisdom shows me that they won't always be around, obviously. And I don't want them to always be around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want them to be with God, eventually. Mm-hmm. So I do realize and recognize I need to make more frequent phone calls to my father. And saying it on here, he's going to hold me accountable to it.
Does he watch it?
He does every now and then.
Okay.
And so I got to definitely call my dad more often, and I have to return my mother's calls more often and text her more often than I do, just to check in, not because there's something needed, wanted, or anything like that. Like, if I need to add somebody if I need to add an issue to the prayer list, then my mama's gonna get a call, right? Because her and her prayer warriors are on it. Mm-hmm. So that's one. I need to definitely show more appreciation to my extended family.
I was going to say, I do really appreciate my family too.
Yeah, the extended family, like my siblings, what I view as a part of our intimate and family, our family that's kind of in on the, we have an extended family that's really still actually intimate family. Like, for example, I don't think I ever say to Marshawn or Eric, I appreciate you, because they're raising the kids with us. It's not like we are just doing it.
But she tells me often that she appreciates me.
She's good for that.
That feels good.
I'm not good for that, and I need to do that more often.
Yeah.
I definitely need to tighten up and show better appreciation to the children, to some degree.
You have a hard time with that.
Yeah, I do, because
you feel like kids shouldn't be appreciated?
I feel like they don't say thank you for paying the bills. Like when they see me, hey, we just paid the phone bill.
But they're kids.
I don't get a thank you.
They're kids.
Yeah, okay, all right.
They're kids. I think we have to lead by example and show them.
We do, and I'm gonna keep paying those bills and showing them how much I appreciate them having lights, water, and gas.
Wow.
And I definitely think one of the number one things I need to do is show you more appreciation for the little things that you do. Because I think if you do something really big, I'm always good to say thank you. Mm-hmm. Now, I will never be a multiple thank you person. It's just like, hey, I hope you were paying attention because I'm going to give it to you once. And then that's it. But if I start saying thank you for the little things...
Why do you say never?
If
you could do it.
If I start with the little things, then maybe saying thank you will frequently, will creep in my... my vocabulary a little bit more frequently. So those are my things. May not even be 5 things. I don't think it was 5. I think it was 3. But that's my list. All right, so we're about to wrap up the show here in a little bit. But before we go, do you want to say something about the NBA Finals, which are starting on Thursday?
I want the Cavs to beat the Warriors.
Because you're a Cavs fan?
I'm not a Cavs fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. But I'm against the whole entire Warriors team.
The whole Golden State.
All of them.
All of California. Just everything.
All of them.
The whole Bay Area.
All of them.
Everything. Rapping Forte.
I'm
E40,
like this.
Everybody. Sugar. If anybody from the West Coast, you just mad at them. Anybody?
No. But, yeah.
All right.
I want the Cavs to win.
That's it?
That's it. And why come this game didn't start on...
it should have started today.
It should have. This would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Memorial Day.
How many games?
I think it's going to go 6 or 7.
6 or 7. And who do you think?
Cavs.
You won't, or who do you think?
I think the Cavs.
All right.
I do.
I'll give an NBA preview on the Barbershop 918, so make sure you check out my other podcast, the Barbershop 918. Tomorrow we got a pretty good hood debate. You know what our hood debate is?
You'll tell us tomorrow on the show.
No, the hood debate. No. We're gonna do it on Facebook Live. The hood debate tomorrow is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be how do you feel if a woman's the breadwinner of the family, as well as kind of the subtopic of getting into stay-at-home dads. Is that okay?
Do men really have a problem with women being the breadwinner?
You know what? You don't. You never know. I think you'd be interested to hear a different response. Because even talking amongst the fellas, we got different response.
Well, I think it's a situation where if the woman is acting dominant about it, you know what I mean? But if it's just, it is what it is. Our money is our money together. I
think that's when you're in a good relationship. That's common sense, right?
I would hope. I think so.
Yeah.
Don't you?
You'll find out tomorrow on the Barbershop 918 podcast.
Well, that's my opinion. I think it should just be whatever. Our money is our money together.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening and watching. Thunder up.